um, 5, 4, and 5. But her end is bitter as woodworm, sharp as two-edged sword. Her feet go to death, her steps take hold on hell. When we follow the things of this world, the wants and desires of this world, it leads us to destruction because we're not following the things of God. Okay, Joshua 3, 9 through 17. Joshua 3, 9 through 17. And Joshua unto the children of Israel, come hither. Joshua said to the children of Israel, come hither. Hear the words of the Lord your God. Oftentimes God sends us a person, a preacher, just a friend maybe, to get our attention so we listen to His Word. Sometimes we're not listening to Him, and the words we even read when we're reading the Bible, we don't pay attention. So sometimes He has to go through somebody else to get us our attention to where we hear them, but hear His Word coming out through him. Joshua was a spokesman for God. The people didn't have the Scriptures at this time. So what Joshua said was what God trusted him to carry His Word to the people. Joshua said, hereby ye shall know that the living God is among you, and that He will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Hivite, and the Perizzite, and the Gerashite, and the Amorite, and the Jebusite. Now these were all the people that dwelled in the land of Canaan, the land that they was promised. At this point in time, the Philistines probably weren't in the land because they weren't mentioned, or they didn't have their own land in the land. They just dwelled there like Israel would. But God said and wanted them to remind, it's time we take our land. It's time we go in and conquer what the Lord's given us. He wants us to go. All they had to do was trust in Him, and the people would be driven out. God would take care of it, but they would end up not listening, as we see in Judges. Behold, the ark of the covenant of the Lord of all the earth passed over before them into the Jordan. Now the ark symbolized God's presence with them. So oftentimes it's carried in front of them with direction of where God wants them to go, and it symbolizes where they should go. So it goes before the Jordan, and we're going to see a miracle here. So God wants them to cross the Jordan, is what this is saying. Now therefore take you 12 men out of the tribes of Israel, every tribe a man. So one from each tribe. They probably would have picked a high esteemed person. They probably would have not just picked a random kid or something. They probably would have picked somebody they really respected to represent them as they did this. And it shall come to pass, when the soles of the feet of the priests that bear the ark of the Lord of all the earth, shall rest in the waters of Jordan, that the waters of Jordan shall be cut off, even the waters that come down from above, and they shall stand in one heap. So the water was going to stop flowing. The important thing is, I think it mentions how this was flood season. So the water would have not dried, so this was even more a miracle because the water would have been deep. And for it to stop flowing shows that it's a miracle of God, even more than normal. It wasn't just something dammed up, because God stopped it. And it came to pass when the people removed from their tents, and to pass over the Jordan, the priests that bear the ark of the covenant, being before the people, and when they that bear the ark were come into Jordan, at the feet of the priests that bear the ark were dipped in the brink of water. For the Jordan overflowed, yeah, we see here, all its banks all the time of harvest. So it was harvest time. The banks were real deep, it was deeper than normal. That the waters which came down from above stood and rose up in one heap, a great way off at Adam, the city beside Zareth, and those that went down towards the sea of the Arabah, even the salt sea, were wholly cut off, and the people passed over right against Jericho. So the water's above, water flows down. So it's simply talking about the waters upstream. It ain't talking about water falling from the sky stopping. It's talking about the water upstream stop flowing. So then God causes the water to stop flowing so they can cross over on dry land. And the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord stood firm on dry land in the midst of Jordan. And all Israel passed over dry ground until all the nations were passed clean over Jordan. Now this is important simply because, yeah, they could have got across, but it would have been a lot harder for them to get their people, their livestock, everything across by the water being this deep. They eventually had to, they could have went around the Jordan, it would have even took longer. But God made it to where they could pass over real quick to accomplish what He wanted them to accomplish. God will make it easy. He'll make ways for us to accomplish what He wants us to accomplish. Regardless of how impossible it seems, He'll make it happen if it's His will.